I come apart, wanna get it down. There's only three things for sure: taxes, death, and trouble. This I know, baby. This I know, sure. Hey, ain't gonna let it sway me, babe. Ain't gonna let it sweat me, baby. Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man. Check it out if you never heard that song. That was a cool man right there, Marvin Gaye. Rest in peace to Marvin Gaye. I love that man. There's only three things for sure: taxes, death, and trouble. My grandma's birthday is April 15th. And for those of you who know my channel, you know I love my grandma, man. Every year, all this craziness was going on during her birthday. And I never understood that as a kid. As an adult, I know why now. Taxes, it's tax day, April 15th. And I know you guys know that. And we're scrambling right now for the last day to put that in. We know what time it is with that. But it just got me to thinking, man. It's like, if you can print the money and you can spend whatever you want and give billions and billions of dollars to countries that have nothing to do with us, and not pay the people that deserve more money, the police, the teachers, firefighters, the people that we as taxpayers pay, and they're severely underpaid. Why do we pay those taxes? I don't know. I'm not telling anybody not to pay your taxes. But why are we paying them? That's. Anyways, hope you guys are having a good day. I've been doing some soul searching the last couple of days. And you don't have to adjust your screen. This is a blue shirt, not a black one. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Gorgeous day. And this is a great country. But I think this country is, remember how Prince used to have that symbol? The artist formerly known as Prince. I think this country is the country formerly known as the greatest country in the world. Because I don't think we hold that title anymore. The things that are going on here, I don't support it. You know, I just don't. And you're watching Jim Jordan getting sued because he's asking Fat Alvin to come on and let's talk. Fat Alvin doesn't want to do that. AKA brag about nothing. Alvin Bragg. This whole system is crooked, ladies and gentlemen. And now he's suing Jim Jordan because he don't want to come and answer questions. That's what he's doing. Because he knows that this is complete BS. And everybody knows it's BS what they're doing to Donald J. Trump. He didn't even come out and say what the crime was. All this hubbub, all these millions and millions of dollars that have been spent on these police officers and all the security and all these things just to have them come up there for an hour, however long Donald Trump was up there, and all these things because the Democratic Party has an axe to grind with Donald Trump, and they're trying to keep him out of office. Then they got something else on him, I heard, and what's the next thing? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you got Brandon doing what Brandon does, and his press secretary just completely incapable of doing a basic job of going up there and answering questions. He can't even do it. My dream team would be Donald J. Trump being the president. Well, if I had to have one president, it'd be Ron Paul, but I think he might be a little too old now, to be honest. But second best would be Donald Trump. I want Ron DeSantis to be the vice president, and then Carrie Lake to be the White House press secretary. Whew. You talking about fireworks? And eventually I'd like Ron DeSantis to be the president, after Donald J. Trump. Learn from him, because he's basically doing what Donald Trump did for the country. He's doing what he's doing in Florida. And he learned a lot from Donald J. Trump. And he's still young. He's only 44 years old. And Kari Lake is new to politics. Used to be a news reporter in Arizona. And I think no one probably on this planet would be more equipped than to take questions from these idiot leftist reporters every day than Kari Lake. You talking about eating those people alive every morning, and it would be must-see TV. That would be my dream team. And then maybe have Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert move up and have them be seen a little bit more, because they're little female, little mini-me's of Donald Trump, those two. Heck, even Matt Gaetz from Florida, from Ron DeSantis' state, wants Donald Trump to be the president. And again, I was going back and forth between Ron DeSantis and Donald J. Trump. And then when Ron DeSantis came out with that speech about the CBDCs and stuff like that, and the way he was talking, he looked real presidential, man. And the way he's doing Florida, and he's talking about freedom, I want him to be the president too, because I believe he could divide us less than Donald J. Trump. That's what I believed. But then when I saw those indictments come down, and a lot of people were mad at Ron DeSantis for not coming out in the beginning, right in the beginning, and saying, oh, I denounced this, and we're not going to extradite Trump out of Florida, because you guys know Trump lives in Florida too, has a place in Florida. I didn't get mad at him about that, because he came out and addressed it a day or two later. But when those indictments came out on Trump, and I just see not only what happened to Donald Trump in 2020, that theft, that absolute, you know what happened in 2020. And then what they're doing to him now, these people do not want him in. And whatever these people don't want, that's what I want. So, I'm with my country, and I love my country. I was just going through some things right now. But you got to look for an out, you know what I mean? And I was sitting there yesterday. Let me tell you something. I didn't make a video yesterday. I didn't even work yesterday. You know what I did all day? I watched stuff on YouTube while I was doing my silver inventory. Very meticulously doing my silver inventory. My silver is very, very important to me. I don't just sit there and count how many ounces I have, or, oh, I got this 10-ounce bar, or I got this one. What I do is I meticulously go through each and every piece, because every single piece is important. Every single piece of my silver is important. Even when I give it away, it's important. Because when I give my silver away to someone, again, I want my 3 things back. Like I always say to them, study what you got, tell people about it, and buy more. And if you got any questions, give me a call. That's the only thing you got to do when I give you silver. Every single ounce, gram I have is important. And the reason being is it's a finite amount. It is the most valuable money, or the most valuable metal, in my opinion, on this planet. Even more valuable than gold. Because trust me, I don't care what the price of gold is versus silver, 80 to 1, 75 to 1, whatever it is. You ask every manufacturer or every human being in the world, after you educate them on what silver does and what silver is in and what gold is in, and you tell the people in their daily lives and ask the people and have a poll, which one can you do without, silver or gold? Again, that's how my logical brain works. So when I was going through my stack yesterday, meticulously, by the way, I mean, I was just listening to all different stuff. I try to be a well-rounded person, right? I'm what you call a jack of a lot of trades and the master of none, I guess. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But the friend of mine I have that lives in Arkansas, the one that put me on the silver and gold, and he's in the Bitcoin now. I was asking him different questions about some things, and right now he's on the Bitcoin train. He's not watching anything else but Bitcoin. And I've done that before. I've gone a couple days and only watch silver videos, or only watch gold videos, or only watch Bitcoin, or only watch finance, or only watch this or that. I've done that. And I'm not knocking him when I say this, because he's not like that all the time. I try to be well-rounded and try to be a Renaissance man, if you will. Because let me tell you something. People get angry at me when I talk about politics. I hate to explain this to you folks. This is 2023. This ain't 2013. Okay? We are living in your daily life is literally being affected by what's going on by these people, these politicians, and the people that are above the politicians. The reason I talk about it so much, because this is a freedom channel first and foremost. And those are the people that are directly affecting our freedom. And indirectly, but directly, they're affecting our freedom. They affect the monetary policy, because that's my second thing. It's freedom, then money. But let me be clear on this channel. Let me tell you what my priorities are real quick. It's 3 priorities. It's God, family, country. That's a white lady, by the way. She didn't call me the N-word, okay? God, if you know, you know. God, family, country, in that order, right? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and preach to you about God. You have to find that on your own, right? So, I talk about family and good family morals and how to be a good family man a little bit, right? But that's not up to me. You know, what you do with your family. So what do I talk about? I talk about the country formerly known as the best country or the freest country in the world, and that's the United States of America. My number one still favorite country, until it's not. And I talk about these things, the politicians, the powers that be, and everything else, because it directly affects the things that you guys want to hear about. Some of you guys all you guys want to hear about is Bitcoin. And some of you guys just want to hear about silver. There's plenty of channels for that, you know. And that's why I don't get a lot of views. And I'm okay with that. I really am. You know, I don't do it for that. I do it for my base people. Even if I only have 40 people watching my videos, I only have like 40 views, sometimes 50 views. I've had a couple hundred here and there, but I know why I've had those. Because I had a bunch of silver on the table, and they're not listening to me about Bitcoin or what's going on with these politicians or the evil cabal, the powers that be, the people that are actually controlling it. They don't care about that. Even the silver people and the Bitcoin people, they're just strictly one or the other. Sometimes they fall victim of being tunnel visioned. But I'm telling you right now, and I'm not saying this is you, and if it is you, hey, this applies to you. You got to be a Renaissance man. And what I mean by that is, you got to know what's going on, a little bit of everything around the world. If your car breaks down, you got to know the basics of how to fix a car, right? If somebody attacks you, you got to know how to defend yourself, the basics, right? The first thing you do is you try to run away, right? I had a Navy man when I was in the United States Navy. I had a SEAL on my ship, and I got into a couple of fights in the military. I lost a little bit of control a couple of times. And I've actually heard a guy on Joe Rogan say the exact same thing. So I don't know if it's a Navy SEAL thing, or I thought it was just him until I heard a guy on Joe Rogan say it. He told me this in 1997, I think it was. I got into a fight with this dude, got in some trouble. How you doing, man? Got into some trouble. And he told me, he goes, look, now this was a bad boy. This is a bad man, this guy. He was one of the top dudes in the military. He can kick everybody's ass on my ship. Easy, and everybody knew it. He told me the best way to defend yourself is never fight. Now, mind you, this man knew every single hand-to-hand combat. I mean, this dude can kill you like that with his bare hands. He could take a Secret Service man and make him look like a little, okay? And those are some tough dudes. He told me the best way to do it is just run away. Get away from them. Avoid it, everything else. There's nothing good coming out of it fighting, even if you win or lose. And that's true. I've never had good outcomes. I've gotten into a lot of fights in my life. And I'm not proud of that. But nothing ever comes good out of it, right? So he said, just run away, just go away. And I took that advice, but there was a couple times in my life after that I did get into a few fights. But I haven't really gotten into a lot of fights because I always remembered his rule. Never fight anybody, try to run away. But if you get cornered and there's nothing else you can do and they grab you, that's when, he goes, that's when the problems come in. And you didn't want to grab this guy. That's all I got to say. So you got to know these things, right? You got to know a little bit about everything. And I'm not saying you guys don't, again, I'm just saying, because before you started stacking silver or Bitcoin or gold or whatever your flavor is, there's other things you did, obviously. But what happens is we get so tunnel visioned on one thing. I may go a whole day or a whole week just listening to politics and not even thinking about silver or gold or platinum or Bitcoin or any type of monetary thing. I'm just listening to what's going on in the world. Because I can project, and you can project, if you see, okay, I've been in this market for 3 years, 2.5 years or whatever. When this happened a year and a half ago, or a year ago, the price of silver went down. Okay, maybe I should buy. Or maybe I should put some cash together for the next 2-3 months. So I think the price of silver is going to go down because that's what happened a year and a half ago. Things like that. You got to be a worldly person. And I'm telling you guys right now, as much as I love my country, because I love my country, again, my 3 things are God, family, country, in that order. I got to do what's best for my family. And if this country keeps going the way it's going, I'm looking into an escape hatch. I hate to say that, but I am. And I never in my life thought I would have to do that. When I was in the military and I went overseas, I felt like a king over there because, and I did 2 Mediterranean cruises in 1996 and then 1998. I felt like a king or a mini god or something back then. Not like that, but I don't mean it by a blasphemy way. Just the way they treated me and my shipmates, because I was from America. This is back in the 90s. Now in 2023, there's so many people leaving the country over the last 10 years, 8-10 years, are going everywhere else. Like when I watch these videos on what it's like to live in another country or this, that, and the third, it's always Americans doing the videos. And then when they're out in Taiwan or El Salvador or all these different places, you see a bunch of Americans there. Again, if America's so great, I'm talking about now, why are there so many people moving abroad? You think they respect us in this country? It's a two-sided coin, ladies and gentlemen. What they do is, and this is the elites who control the left. When Donald Trump is in office, what do they tell the world? They're telling the world and their citizens, the United States, that Donald Trump is a racist and he's evil and he's a bad person. And they're telling the citizens in the world that. Just keep that in mind. They're telling everybody that, right? And then they're painting a picture, and I've talked to people from overseas that have watched the news media in America, in the United States, and they believe that Donald Trump is an evil man. But then, when Brandon gets in office, they say nothing about Brandon, but you've seen him overseas, and you see how he acts, and people have eyes, and they can see that, and they're sitting there going, this guy's, so they're not respecting us. And we're not getting the respect that we used to. People aren't mimicking us and us being the trend followers like we used to be. We still are to a certain extent, not compared to what we used to be. So again, God, family, country. I got to put my family first, and I am looking to go other places. And another reason why I was taking a silver inventory, because again, every ounce I have is important. It's because if I do have to go abroad over the next year and a half, 2 years, November 2024. What am I going to do with all that silver? What am I going to do with it? Because I made the choice, instead of buying gold and keeping it compact, because I look at my silver and I'm sitting there going, man, if I had this in gold, it'd be a lot smaller. If I had took 80 ounces and piled them up into 80 ounces, and I just put 1 ounce of gold there, that's a whole lot less to carry. It'd still be difficult to travel overseas because, you know, once you do over a certain amount, it's difficult. What do I do with that silver when I go overseas? Do I put it in the depository? Because when I go overseas, let me tell you something, if I do, because you're supposed to go where you're treated best, and I'll get into that in a second. If I did do that, I would sell everything and I'd get out of this country. Because again, there's only 3 things for sure: taxes, death, and trouble. When I'm doing my taxes, I'm sitting there going, I don't support this stuff. My country doesn't have my full support right now. And I'm sitting there paying for what? What am I giving the government money for when I don't support them? So let me tell you something. When you have a car in this country or house, those are 2 of your biggest possessions probably. You don't own them, right? I have property and I have cars, but they're not mine. I'm just renting them. Because trust and believe, don't pay your taxes on if you have property taxes on your car, everybody has property tax on your house. Don't pay your property taxes on your house, and see who owns it. When you have that celebratory moment, when you pay off your house, go ahead, sir. When you pay off your house, what the hell is this guy doing? Sorry, he must be making a U-turn. Seeing what the black man is doing walking around. Because I'm a victim. Anyways, when you pay off your house and you celebrating paying off your house, what does that really mean? Did you really pay off your house? No, you just paid off the bank. And then they give you the deed. And then real estate only means royal estate, meaning the government, who's the royal, who's the king, owns that house. Again, don't pay your taxes or your property taxes on your home, and you'll see very quickly who owns your home. So you don't own anything. So if I'm going to go overseas, I'm selling everything, ladies and gentlemen, because if I don't pay it's still a tax. Everything's a tax. If I don't pay my registration on my car or something that has to do with the state or whatever, they'll take my car. So it ain't mine. So while I'm sitting there doing my tax, I'm sitting there going, what am I paying for here? Right? So I'd leave. I'd sell everything and leave. You got to think about that kind of thing, right? You got to see what your values are. You got to do what's best in God's eyes, your family, and then your country. And if your country ain't doing you right, and right now my country ain't doing me right, I don't know how you feel about it. That's just me though. So I've been looking into some things, and when I'm looking at my silver, I'm sitting there going, what am I going to do with all this stuff, man? Like seriously, am I going to liquidate? I'm going to sell it? Good thing about Bitcoin, and as of this recording, Bitcoin's still over 30,000 as of this recording, is that I don't have to worry about any of that. And I'm really considering, if I do have to sell and liquidate and move and sell every possession that I have and turn it into US dollars, I got to think about turning it into something. And when I say go where you're treated best, I'm looking at these other countries. I was looking at Thailand yesterday, and let me tell you something, man. Thailand, if you don't believe me, look it up. You can rent a condo or a house or something like that between $300 and $1,000 US dollars. Because you know Thailand deals with baht, and the weather's great. They treat you like a king over there. I seen this one guy. He had a condo. He was paying $280 a month for a condo. His total bills, everything. He was getting massages every single day. He was getting foot massages every day. Or I don't know if a full body massage, but I know he was getting a foot massage every day. He was eating out every day. He went grocery shopping. He was doing all this stuff. He traveled 2 hours away in a taxi cab. That cost him like $100, $50 each way. You know, he had his cell phone bill and his expenses. It was $1,300 a month. $1,300. You know what his second biggest expense was after his rent? His massages. It was insane. Who do you know here in the United States of America that their second biggest expense is a massage? I don't know anybody. And I'm guessing you don't either. So my point is, sometimes you gotta, loyalty's good, man, but loyalty will get you messed up. And my country ain't loyal to me right now. But again, I'm still gonna give them a chance. I'm still gonna fight for freedom. I'm still gonna love my country. I'm still an American. And I'm gonna stay here. But if this stuff keeps going, that escape hatch might have to be pulled. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love each and every one of you. I'm hoping we're not in for dark times ahead. We are cruising for a bruising in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And World War, you know what, is on the horizon if it's not here already. And it doesn't have to be a push of the button, you know, the N-word. But we're helping out another country that we have nothing to do with. And it's insane. So be a Renaissance man, guys. Love God. Be a man. Be a real strong man. A good man is a dangerous man, a strong man. I think I heard Joe Rogan say it about being a gardener, a soft gardener or something like that. I think you guys know the quote. Being a soft man is not good. And being a gardener is not good. But being a warrior that gardens, that could be dangerous, is good. I heard Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan. You guys know the quote. I love each and every one of you guys. I'll talk to you soon. God bless this country, man. God bless this country. And keep your head on the swivel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love, guys.